Hey, Mama, I am so glad we are reconnecting. Finally. Girl, my list has been piled a mile high. I've crossed everything off of it at this point. And the one thing I'm ready to focus on is minding my own motherhood. That's what season 3 is going to be all about. MYOM. And I want you to join me and make the commitment to minding your own motherhood too. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode of Mind Your Own Motherhood. I am your host, Day Hayes. This is a space where we talk all things marriage, motherhood, and mental health. All right, Hebrews 4:1 was really interesting to me because I was like, okay, wait a minute, God, we're repeating the same thing. Why are we saying the same thing? But this same thing that the Lord is saying in Hebrews 4 is truly Him reintroducing His invitation of rest. Remember, He banned an entire generation from rest because they hardened their hearts. They chose to be unbelieving. They had doubt in Him. They were testing His word. They were doing all these things. And so He reintroduces rest and an invitation to rest. And I love what that shows about God. It shows that He's a God of comebacks. He's a God of turning things back around, giving you a second chance. And my testimony for that, y'all, I was on a call and the Lord told me to be obedient to signing up for something on that call. And I didn't do it because I was like, Lord, I don't have it. I don't got it. So that's not the resolution. That's not my answer. And I got on another call with that same person and they offered the same thing again. And they said, come back, a God of comeback. And I said, you know what? I'm going to be obedient, God. Thank you. Thank you, Lord, for giving me a second chance to try to do this again. And so if you are in this season and you're like, man, well, I think I missed my chance for that, do know that God will give you another opportunity. God will give you another opportunity. He's so faithful in that. So Hebrews 4-1, the promise of His rest still stands. Even though He banned a generation, He said, but there are still some people I can be kind, because I made the decision in my anchor. I'll be kind enough to give another invitation. And it's many iterations of His good news because we always think of the good news as like God was crucified, then He rose 3 days later. But this is another iteration of His good news that He is willing to give an extension, another opportunity to experience His rest. And I love that I am learning that there are other elements and extensions of the good news of Jesus. Their hearing and experience, their hearing and experience of God did not lead them to obedience. So y'all heard me talk about this the last episode. Obedience is key in this season. We cannot spiritualize it and ask for 50 confirmations. Faith is moving in an obedience in a response to what you have already experienced of God's character through His works and through you. Our transformation in the doing leads to more obedience. It leads to a new heart. It leads to a new identity. And belief is required to enter rest. You've got to believe. You've got to believe that God is the builder. You've got to believe that He's going to handle the outcome. You have got to believe that he's in charge and He is responsible for the entire house, which is you and I. You have to believe that God is able to be in charge and He's the ability and the capacity and the care to be in charge. And you have to believe that you can release that autonomy, that control over your own life. We don't have to wait for rest because it's already prepared for us. Hebrews 4:4 promises this to us. And He revealed to us that God gives examples of Shabbat and rest. As God rested on that seventh day, He said, I did this, and this. And now I'm about to lay down. I'm about to rest. I'm about to stop because I know that rest of it will handle itself. When we rest, God can handle the rest. When we rest, God can handle the rest. He can't do anything. God cannot do anything with a burnt out, exhausted, and stressed person. That is not a good vessel. That is a vessel that is ready to burst. It is in a vat that cannot hold good wine. So you need the rest. Hebrews 4:7 shares of the second time around. God set another time for us to enter his rest. And he says this oath. He says the God in chances, circlebacks, and coming back around. How could the God of today in Hebrews 3:7 be the same as the God of today in Hebrews 4:7? Because he is the same God as today, yesterday, and tomorrow. And today is not necessarily like a date. Like today, you have this opportunity, and tomorrow it expires. The beautiful thing with the promises of God is like his promises don't expire. His promises from 2,000 years ago of rest that he gave to the people of David is still accessible to you and I today. Today, the today of 2,000 years ago is the same today of 2,000 years now. It's an open invitation. It's an open invitation that is used in the present tense because God stands outside of time and he controls time. That doesn't mean to delay. That does not mean to wait. It simply means that God has this standing invitation every day for you to enter into his rest, a new rest that is renewed for you each and every day. And that's so kind of God. Hebrews 4:11-12, it says, heed the warning that not entering rest results in a fall of sin and disobedience. Disobedience separates us from God. It makes it difficult for us to hear his instruction, to experience his presence. And because of God's sovereignty and the authority of his word, nothing can be hidden. Once it is divided, it is then exposed. He sees the purity, and we are responsible to him. When we enter into rest, he can do the surgery on our heart that needs to be done. I don't know if you are a mama and you're watching this and you've had C-sections or you've had some type of surgery, but we all know, and I can attest to this after having three of those things, three of them, three of those good things, that when I had C-sections, they had to numb partially part of my body. And so that means that part of my body had to be asleep. It had to be at rest for them to do what they needed to do. So if my body needs the rest to be sleep, to get done what needs to get done, to get a child out of my stomach in that manner, then don't you think that for the Lord to do the work that he needs to do in you, it's going to require a level of rest? You're pushing for this resolution. You want the answer. You want to understand why. You want the next step. You want the problem solved. But baby, it's not going to get solved and you stressing yourself out. So enter into the promise of his rest. Get his rest, y'all. That's really what I'm just trying to tell you is that the rest is available to you. He wants you to have it. He deeply desires for you to experience it. And I am experiencing it day by day. That has looked like me having the opportunity to sit physically and be still and hear from him. That has looked like me crying my eyes out, repenting and asking for him to heal the broken parts of me. That rest has looked like date night, where I get to laugh and enjoy the time with my husband and experience the beautiful relationship that the Lord assigned to me. That rest has sometimes looked like me going and taking the kids to go play at the park or having a good stroll and just hanging out with him. Rest is not a stagnancy. Rest will not make you stuck. Rest will renew you. It will restore you. It allows for his redemptive love to completely cover you. Y'all, that is it for the Bible study. That's all I got because your girl needs to go rest. I'm gonna go get my rest. So I really hope that you felt blessed by this, that you allow yourself to experience his rest that he has for you. If you enjoyed this so much, I would love for you to comment, to like or subscribe or share with another mama that will bless you. Until we see each other again, I want you to make sure you're minding your own motherhood by getting some rest. Bye, y'all. I'll see you later. We create, bless, and repeat.
Listen, I know we're all out here building dreams and raising babies. That's why this space was made just for you. I'm Day Hayes, a mama of 3, wife, and podcast producer. I left a whole career to follow God, follow my life, and create spaces where moms can walk in purpose without doubt and with our whole chest. Now, I help women turn their voices into powerful, spirit-led platforms, making impact